Good morning. As always, it's so heartwarming and beautiful to see all of you arriving, to receive and read your messages and greetings. So as usual, when, at least when I have shared this space, I've always invited you as you come in to share your name in the chat and anything else you would like to share. And also as you begin to settle into this space, I invite you to really feel into, to drop into this shared field that we create together. It's something that is very palpable if we choose to make it palpable. It's something that's very alive and real if we choose to feel into this shared collective space. And what's so magical is that it's like a field. It's a field beyond space and time. Clearly beyond space. Here we are in different parts of the world. And also beyond time. There'll be some of you who are here right now with us and yet watching the recording, and so in a completely different time. Later today, later this week, this month, next year. And so once you've said hello in the chat, just feel into this field. It's like Rumi's field beyond right and wrong, beyond space and time. A place where we all meet. And a place, of course, where we all meet with the wholehearted, unconditional, uninhibited aspiration to meet here with and from love. And so this, of course, is particularly the theme we'll be exploring this week, is love's flavors and flow. And I'd like to speak for a moment on a question that might be here for you, perhaps, some of you, on why speak of love in times of tumult and war. So these are times that need us to respond in some way. They need us to respond, but they need us to respond from a place that's grounded in loving presence. And so we need to familiarize ourselves with the ways that love feels and the ways that love moves, so that it becomes a more familiar field for us to access. This is really the heart, for me at least, of practice life, to familiarize myself with the way love feels and the way love moves at times of relative ease, so that I'm more able to return there in times when I'm triggered. And most of us are very familiar with how fear feels and how fear moves. We're very familiar with the way fear contracts and collapses in our body, in our heart, and our mind. We're familiar with the way fear tends to focus us towards either fighting or running away or freezing, that adrenalized response. And we're familiar with the compulsions that tend to arise in this field of fear towards holding on or pushing away or distracting ourselves. And in fact, most of us are so familiar with that field, let's call it the field of fear, that we have normalized it. You know, our society supports it. So as a result, most of us are less familiar with how love feels and moves. And just to clarify here, when I speak of love, I don't mean only romantic love, although that's one of the ways it can show up. And I certainly don't mean the idealized, projected forms of love that a lot of our society identifies with. What I'm speaking of is this field that we experience when a body, heart, and mind is grounded, awake, open, relaxed, and spacious. It's the field that we experience when, in meditation, we start to widen our attention to the spaces in between the stuff of our lives. It's the could even go as far as saying it's the very air we breathe, it's the water we swim in, it's the fabric of our existence. It is who you and I are, it's what all things are. So what I'm speaking of when I speak of familiarizing ourselves with the way love feels and the way love moves is familiarizing ourselves with our essential nature and the essential nature of all things. And given that, one of the reasons that we're less familiar with the way love feels and moves is because we are more likely to be walking through life with a body, heart, and mind that is in perpetual state of disconnect, of dullness, of contraction, of tension, and of collapse. So the opposite of grounded, awake, open, relaxed, and spacious. And so with this body, heart, and mind in states of contractions, it's not enough sometimes to simply drop in and start to feel what's here. That certainly helps. And over time, those contractions and places of collapse relax and expand. But it can also help when we're specifically turning towards exploring this field, love's field, the way it feels, the way it moves. It can help to intentionally support the experience of presence in the body. It can help to pay attention to our posture. It can help to breathe in certain ways that support an enlivened and liberated breathing, because our breathing is so central to this way of it's so central to either bringing the body into a state of contraction, to the adrenalized fear-based response, or bringing the body into a state of rest and receive and connect. Our breathing is literally the thing, more than anything else in our body, heart, and mind, that triggers the body to move into the sympathetic nervous system, which is that adrenalized response, or the parasympathetic one, which is the one that allows us to know that we're safe enough in this moment to feel what is here. When we're in fight, flight, freeze, we disconnect from the body because feelings are unhelpful, which is important for survival when survival is threatened. It's extremely unhelpful for thriving We need to feel our emotions so that we can connect with ourselves and so that we can connect with each other in this world for us to thrive. And so I was thinking that as we begin our practice this morning, I will guide you through some postural points. And then I'll also guide you with a very, very simple breathing exercise. I thought it might be helpful if we practice this very simple breathing exercise first now, and then I'll guide you as well when we're in the meditation space. Just so in case some of you want to have your eyes open and watch or just try it first. So the intention of this breathing exercise is very simple. It's to help us activate the breathing muscles. We might do two breathing exercises, one that helps activate the muscles of exhaling and one that helps activate the muscles of inhaling. But this one that I'm going to share quickly before we start our meditation practice formally is one that helps us wake up the out-breath muscles, the abdominal muscles that support the diaphragm to relax back into its natural dome shape and help us do a full exhalation. Because when we're in a stress response, which a lot of us live in all the time, we tend to do very shallow and fast breathing just in the top chest, which activates the sympathetic nervous system. So instead, these very simple couple of exercises are going to help us do slow and deeper, fuller exhalations, which allow for a freer inhalation. So very simply, I'm going to invite you, and you can do this with me now, and then I'll talk you through it when we come and do it together in a moment. I'm going to invite you to take a soft, full inhalation, and then while breathing out, very simply count from 1 to 10 out loud again and again. And then at a certain point, you won't have enough breath to speak out loud anymore, so it'll become a whisper, and you'll just start whispering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then at a certain point, that whisper, there won't be enough breath left to whisper anymore, so you'll just be mouthing the words, just to squeeze out the last bit of air. And you'll feel, as you do this, I want you to bring your attention to the area below your belly button, that very lower belly area, and to really feel the engagement there. And that's where our attention wants to rest. So I'll do that with you for those of you who choose to do this, and this is obviously completely optional. It has exactly the same effect when we chant, and maybe tomorrow we might chant instead. Let's do it together now, and then I'll also talk you through it in a moment when we start the formal practice. So just taking a slow breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can repeat that one more time if you like. Breathing in through the nose when you breathe in. Keeping your attention in the lower belly area as you breathe out. And when you've finished, you could just check into your posture, whether you're seated or lying down. See that whatever parts of your body are really broad. So if you're seated, broaden the base, your sit bones, the backs of your thighs, your feet. If you're seated on a chair, or the Ankles and feet, make sure they're supported. Make sure the legs feel supported, the thighs feel supported. The back of your body if you're lying down. And have a sense of really feeling grounded. And from your grounded base, invite a long spine to rise up. Again, whether you're seated or lying down. And a broad circumference of your chest. Broad in the front, in the sides, and in the back. So that you feel that your head is balanced on the top of the spine. Again, whether you're seated or lying down. Check that there isn't a distortion here, that your head isn't dropping forward, nor dropping back. So that it can feel like your head is balanced on top of a spine that in turn is supported by the ground. As if the base of your skull is gently rising up from the back top of the neck. And then from there, completely relax the skin and muscles of your face. Release the jaw, make space between your back teeth. Have your lips just touching, whilst maintaining that space between your teeth and inside your mouth. And relax the root of your tongue, wherever you perceive that to be. If you notice tension in your face, it can also help to squeeze and stretch the skin and muscles of your face. Just make any funny facial contortion. You can stick your tongue out to the tip of the chin. Yawn, that's always really helpful to yawn. And then relax the eyes. Bring your attention to the outer corners of the eyes. Relax them backwards, deep back towards the base of the center of the brain. And widen them outwards. And then when you're ready, for those of you who choose to, we'll try that breathing exercise one more time. Taking a soft breath in through the nose, if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you continue to breathe softly, in and out through the nose if possible, keep your attention in the area of the lower belly, below the navel, between your belly button and the pubic bone. Inviting that area to softly expand and softly release. Feeling the ground hold you. Your lower belly gently moving. And if there still isn't any movement there, feel free to repeat that exercise if you find it helpful. If all of this attention or any attention on your breathing actually brings more tension into your body, into your system. Just place your attention instead wherever you feel a sense of groundedness, a sense of safety. The inhalation, the exhalation is what invites the body to come to rest, to be here, to feel safe. The inhalation is what invites the body to be awake, to feel alive. So I invite you now, those of you who choose to place your attention now from the lower belly into the space of your heart. And next time you breathe in, and then breathe in again, and then breathe in again without exhaling, 3 times breathing in. Before you take a soft, slow exhale, however you want to, through the nose, or it might be through the mouth. And then just take some normal breaths and feel the space of your heart. And if you choose to, feel free to repeat that once or twice more. Just simply breathing in 3 times. No tension in the throat. Feeling the space of the heart. Feeling or imagining a luminous warmth in the space of the heart. Inviting this luminous warmth of the inhalation that expands from the space of the heart. And this grounded safety of the exhalation that radiates from the lower belly. Inviting these qualities to permeate through your being. As if spreading through and into the cells of your body, from the center to the periphery. so that these qualities, the grounded, relaxed, luminous warmth of love, are the qualities with which you meet the places of contraction and collapse in your body, heart and mind. You don't have to feel luminous and warm in order to meet the pain, the collapse, or the contraction that you're feeling right now with luminous warmth. The attitude of heart and mind with which love's luminous warmth embraces this moment are very beautifully described, I feel, by these words that were written by Mary Haskell to her beloved Khalil Gibran. So I just invite you to receive these words as your own inner alignment and intention, as if saying them to yourself. She wrote, "Nothing you become will disappoint me. I have no preconception that I'd like to see you be or do. I have no desire to foresee you, only to discover you. You cannot disappoint me." How would it be to meet the sensations of your body breathing wherever you feel them in this moment? With this attitude, I have no desire to foresee you, only to discover you. You cannot disappoint me. I have no desire to foresee you, only to discover you, my love. Show me yourself. And know that you'll be met in love's luminous warmth. Face relaxed, belly relaxed, heart expanding. Body breathing. I have no desire to foresee you, only to discover you. Face relaxed, belly soft, heart expanding. Body breathing. Love's luminous warmth is here, alive in your breathing belly. Permeating through the cells of your being from your expanding heart. Get to know how it feels. If it has a color, a sound. Get to know this field of love so that you can begin to trust slowly, slowly over time. But this is indeed who you are. As we prepare to bring this meditation to a close, I invite you to take your attention back into this shared field that we create together. This field beyond space and time. to really feel each other's presence. To feel and sense these breathing bellies, these expanding hearts, and this shared field of luminous warmth that we're remembering, returning to, resting in, and feeling together. It's a time now for questions, if you have any, which you can either raise your hand to come on screen with me, or you can write in the chat. It's helpful if you write question in capital letters first. And I'd be curious to hear as well if you found those breathing exercises helpful or hard to access or anything else. And a reminder of this precious, precious way that Sangha Life offers itself to all of us. And purely on dana. Such a beautiful and profound practice of receiving as well as giving, of receiving the gift of giving, of receiving as teachers and all of those who work for Sangha Life. All my work is offered in the spirit of dana. So please include this as part of your practice of witnessing the way love feels and moves. It's one of the ways we participate in love's flow. So gratitude for your support. I will share the words. I will share the words of the Mary Haskell wrote to Khalil Gibran. I'll share them with George, who will post them with as a link to the recording when it's posted on Sangha Live. And I can probably also have it added to Sangha Live Connect as well. A question from Meryl. Can you please repeat the inhale breath exercise? So very simple. You breathe in, and then you breathe in again, and then you breathe in again. So without breathing out, without holding your throat, it's to help us activate the inhalation muscles of the chest and diaphragm, as well as the because what normally happens is we just pull a bit of air into the top chest. So when you breathe in, and you just breathe in again, and you breathe in again, Doesn't have to be super, super deep. You're not gulping in the air, but to really feel the broadening of the back of the body, the sides of the body, the front of the body. When you let the air out, you let it out very easily through your nose or through your mouth. So both those exercises were simply extending and slowing down the out-breath, which I use the counting to support that, and extending and slowing down the in-breath. We breathe too fast and too shallow, and we breathe through our mouths often, which gulps in the air and actually disturbs the carbon dioxide and oxygen balance in our blood. Carbon dioxide is actually needed in our blood for us to absorb the oxygen. So breathing through our nose is a really important thing to practice. And it is a practice because the muscles at the back of our nose and our throat become flaccid when we don't use them, and they strengthen, and we become more capacitated to breathe through our nose. There are all sorts of other obstructions and ways that that can be supported as well. But breathing through our nose warms the air, it regulates the flow, it filters the air. So it's a relevant factor in our practice. So I hope that's helpful. A reflection from Caroline. I often find breathing exercises counterproductive and fear-inducing, but this felt deeply calming as it was so infused with love. I'm so glad to hear that this one felt calming, Caroline, and I agree with you that it can be tricky to, because our breathing is where we contract and go into the fear response. So bringing our attention to the breathing and then trying to do things with it, especially when that feels complicated and when it's done in any way perhaps that feels forceful or aggressive, can actually reinforce that. So I'm very glad that that felt helpful. Question from Ruth. I resonate deeply with the feeling of safety coming from a sense of grounding, and sense that heart expansion is only possible when we're grounded. I'd love to hear more about how you feel relaxation of tension and holding the muscles can change this feeling of safety and therefore love. So if I understand you correctly, Ruth, you'd like me to speak a bit more about the relationship between safety, the feeling of safety and therefore love, and the physical tension or relaxation in the body. So as an immediate response, I invite you to start to feel into that in your body, your experience, to start to notice how your heart and mind feel when the body is relaxed but spacious, grounded but alert, as opposed to how your heart and mind feel when you're carrying tension. It's something that I get very direct feedback and a very direct correlation with. And it's also something that, has been researched, that the way the body is activated when the adrenals are activated and when we go into a fear response of fight, flight, freeze, is that our limbs become tense, our breathing muscles become shallow, our digestive, reproductive organs receive less blood flow, so we don't breathe into the belly. We cut off from feeling the body so much. We cut off from feeling our emotions. So all of that type of tension, in other words, we start to look like that. And if I was here teaching like that, with my breath, my voice sounding like this, breathing shallow, you would receive, I can't do that for any longer, you would receive something very different from me. I would feel very different, what I would be able to access and the presence I would hold. And the same applies to all of us. So yeah, I don't know if that answers if there's more you want to share on that, Ruth, feel free to. Thank you for your reflection, Natalie. A question from Lean. I notice my breathing is regularly slow and shallow. Sorry, I always keep moving. The 10 out-breath exercise felt like it made the breathing more stuck. How can I use this in a way that's helpful? Regularly shallow, yeah. So I'm imagining that you didn't feel that there was much breath to breathe out if your breathing is regularly slow and shallow. One thing I would suggest is don't worry if you only get one round of 10. You know, I carried on for a while, but that's just how much air my body had in my system at that time. The helpful bit, I think, of that exercise for you might be just to take your attention into that area below your navel, and however short or long your exhalation is, to pay attention to the release at the end of the exhalation, to breathe into the belly, to relax your belly, and then engage it again, and then relax it again. For many of us, we've held our bellies, especially as women, I think, we've held our bellies from a young age in a tense position, in an unmoving tense position. So it's those muscles have neither learned to engage fully nor relax fully. So if that's the case for you, then learning to take your attention there, and there might be some engagement as you breathe out, but then release when you breathe in. So focusing more on the release with the inhalation. And I think tomorrow we might try a different way of breathing, similar way of breathing, but through simply chanting. We might chant and bring our practice, and you can see if that works better for you or not as well. But yeah, let me know if that is helpful, or if you want more clarification. Question from Kaz. Remembering to feel love is so important to me at the moment as I experience an onslaught of negativity on waking. Any tips? The tip that I can give you is really encoded in practice, which is the onslaught of negativity that we receive at any time of day is a mental onslaught. That's the only place an onslaught can be negative. If what you experience on waking are very painful emotions, as for those of you who were with me last December, we were exploring that there are no negative emotions. There are painful emotions, but they too can be met with love. They can be met in this way. So the practice, the advice, the offering I would give is to, on waking, you recognize those stories, those narratives, and you feel how your body contracts with them, to release them, to release the stories and to come into the body to feel where the remnants of contraction and collapse are. And then to practice in this way, to notice what's happened to your breathing, to keep unhooking from the stories, to come back into the body, to notice what's happened to your breathing, to come back to diaphragmatic breathing, slow breathing through the nose, if possible, certainly the inhalation through the nose, and releasing the belly with the inhalation, filling the chest, all of these different ways. So to come into the body, out of the mind, into the body, to reorganize your nervous system from the body and through the body. And that's also a breathing meditation practice. So to be with the unhook from the narrative, to come into the body, to be with the breathing in a regulating breathing body. And then from there, there's the ever-expanding possibility of then turning towards those extremely difficult and painful emotions that might be present, particularly these days, with love, but from a place of presence, so that those emotions can be met in this field of love's luminous warmth. And we'll explore that more over these next few days, how when life is challenging, love meets it with compassion. When life is delightful, love meets it with delight, love spaciousness. So our time is up, friends. If there are questions that I haven't managed to respond to, then please bring them to me tomorrow or the next day or during this week, or feel free to email them to me as well. My email is ayalagill@gmail.com. Just put that in the chat. Very happy to receive comments and questions from you by email as well. And much gratitude for your presence, for your support, for your practice, for your love. Thank you.